guys, and welcome back into our Big Brother Season 2 reviews. We are now on to episode 18, getting well past the halfway point now. It's really amazing how fast this stuff is going, but when you're having fun, it goes quick, and these have been a lot of fun to do. Really memorable season. Really happy I went back and watched it. And looking forward to Season 3 and Season 4 here in the future. But in terms of episode 18, this was a definitely below average episode. This was, I would say it was one of my 3 or 4 least favorite episodes of the season. Thus far, it wasn't horrible. You know, it's just wasn't anything exciting. Not any, real new developments. But the episode begins with more stuff. Obviously, not, Monica and Krista lost their ever-loving minds last week. Obviously, they were both nominated by Nicole. And obviously, there's going to be some ramifications for that. Some backlash and things of that nature. And the episode starts out with Nicole, and she's basically talking about how she believes that Monica is mostly upset because, again, people don't understand Monica in the house. They don't understand what she's saying. They don't understand why she feels the way she feels about things. She's just so bizarre that she's hard to really understand. And it's not intentional on her part. Like, Will might be hard to read, but it's because he's deceptive and playing a game while Monica's just insane. And, her brain, you can't follow it logically. But Nicole believes that Monica is upset at her mostly because she believes that Monica feels she was only nominated because of her vote against Nicole in week 1. So Nicole feels like Monica believes that she's only nominated because she voted against her the first week. And, when she was on the block, obviously this was week 1 when Nicole was on the block against Cheryl. Monica and Cheryl are friends, so she voted against Nicole. The thing I don't understand about that is Monica did make the whole reference of, the gay guy and the black girl last week, which to Nicole that should have been a flashing red light in her face, like saying that's what Monica believes. But Nicole in this episode states that she thinks it's got to do with that first vote. So I don't understand why Nicole would feel that way. Obviously I stated in my last episode review that I thought that was a fucking bullshit move by Monica and just an asshole thing to say. But Nicole, just like I had previously said, and I feel the same way. If I had been in the house, I would definitely feel that way. And Nicole says, look, I don't hold that against Monica. If anything, I respect her more for not voting against her friend. Yes, I mean, obviously in that position, Nicole didn't like having a vote cast against her, but ultimately everything ended up okay. That vote didn't hurt her. And, they've created a little bit of a relationship over time. Obviously, it's went to hell in a handbasket here in the last few days. But all in all, as I had stated, I think a lot of people looked bad at Bunky for voting against Kent. People thought that, that vote by Monica showed that she can be trusted. If you are in an alliance with her, if you are, conjoined with her, she will have your back. And that's something at this point I think they question about Bunky. Nicole doesn't question that about Monica. So I think, I don't really understand why Nicole thinks this. So really it's irrelevant because Monica doesn't believe she's nominated precisely because of that reason. But that's what Nicole thinks. Ultimately, it's a good segment. Nicole's a little off base here. Then we have a segment with Monica. How she's basically going on and on about she never had a chance in the game. Spare me the fucking lecture. I hated this, segment. Again, I think in the last episode and a half, I've lost all respect for Monica at this point. It's the whole idea that, she's one of the minorities, so these white people never gave me a chance. And I'm not saying that never could happen. Of course it could. But in this season, that is not the case. Monica has been liked throughout the season by all the house guests. She's never been nominated once. She's not being nominated for that reason. I don't think there's anyone watching this that thinks Nicole nominated her because of that reason. That is not the reason. But Monica plays that up, and I don't think it's strategy. I think it's truly what she feels. She's just wrong. And, if I was in the house, and particularly if I was Nicole, I would take that personally. And then we have Hardy feels the same way I feel. When he finds out that that's what Monica thinks, he believes that entire idea is ludicrous. He thinks it's a bad look for Monica. Bunky also chimes in. He says he believes it's just basically an excuse and a cop-out for your own failures. You are nominated, so let's say the reason I'm nominated is because you don't like me for X and X reason. So I agree with Bunky. I agree with Hardy. I'm happy that they feel that way. Then we have more conversation. This was a segment that, in a way, could have been entertaining, but I found it to be a little boring, and that was more talk about the Untouchables. It was Nicole and Krista. Nicole goes to Krista and basically is telling her, look, like, you and Hardy being in that, obviously Monica was in there too, but Krista and Hardy being in that alliance of three, the Untouchables, those two in particular really hurt Nicole. She said that obviously they were the two people she felt like she could trust the most in the house. And to find out they had a little side alliance that she wasn't involved in or aware of hurt her. Krista basically responds like she did last episode in saying that, like, look, basically you're misunderstanding what this group was. This group did not plot against people. This group was more than anything, it was just a joke. It was a group of people that made an agreement to stay out of the fights. That sure worked out well, but should have stuck to it, apparently. Krista lost her fucking mind last week, didn't stay out of nothing. But I thought that was a boring segment, and a lot to do with just the fact that it was nothing new. We had heard it the week prior. We've heard about the Untouchables the last few weeks. And it was a group that really has had, like, in a way, they're telling the truth. It's really had no impact on the game. It's no great alliance here. I honestly, for most of the middle part of the season, I forgot it existed, until recently. Then we had a good segment with Will. And Will's, it was nothing, groundbreaking. Will's definitely had some better moments and will have more better moments in the future. But it's more Will just working Nicole, trying to convince her. They're in the HOH room in the bed. Not like that, but Will is going really hard at her, trying to convince, but he's doing it in like a subtle way. But he's really trying to convince her that she cannot trust Hardy. He needs her to doubt Hardy. And he knows that because Will understands that, look, Nicole is dangerous in this game. Her two greatest allies at this moment are Hardy and Will. Will is obviously thinking, well, I'm Will, and I need myself to be her number one ally. And the only way to do that is to have her doubt Hardy and get him out of the house. And I do think Will's smart enough to know that the chances that she's completely 100% just going to trust him 100% and completely doubt Hardy is unlikely. But I think in his mind, the key is just to get her to doubt him just slightly. Just have that slightest bit of doubt, and that could push Will over the edge in terms of if it comes down to a situation where, you had to pick one or the other, she might go with Will, while previously she wouldn't have. I think ultimately it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening with that. Will she be able to convince him? Obviously, I don't think that's going to end. He's going to continuously push that button and try to get her. And I think he'll use any firepower he can in the next few episodes. He's going to try to find something. And it's going to be interesting how Nicole plays it. Will she go to Hardy and say what Will's been saying? Will Hardy catch on? Will he listen outside the fucking wall like he did a couple episodes ago when he was listening out on the, inside the house? He was listening to them out on the patio. And it's going to be interesting. I think a showdown between Will and Hardy is on the horizon. It's not in the too distant future, and I'm excited to see what ends up ultimately happening between those two guys. Then we had, the nomination ceremony, or not the nomination ceremony. We had the reactions to the nomination ceremony, the fallout from it. And we had Monica basically, again, throwing a big hissy fit. And I hate this. You got all these people that are seemingly fine the whole time. They act like the mature adults and whatnot. But then the second they get nominated, they just mentally break down. And I'm not talking even just get upset. Getting upset most of the time I understand. But just this oh, pity me, this everyone else's fault, this, good players, when they get nominated, don't give up. They try to find a way to get out of it. Whether they end up being successful or not, most time they aren't successful, but they try. This girl's just totally thrown in the towel. She's packing her bags. Little does she know she's not even honestly the target at this point. And it's hard to tell. Is it strategy? Is she, trying to make it appear that she's giving up in hopes that they'll keep her? Or is she really giving up? I have no idea. You can't read her. She's impossible to read. And she's nuts. But she does, I don't think it is strategy, because she does then go on to say, like, look, before I leave this house, I am going to get Nicole, which I don't even understand why you're mad at her, because she nominated you, boo-hoo. So everybody that gets nominated by somebody should just want to get them, and when she says that, you don't really know what she means by that. Like, what is she going to Justin her or what? And also, that's a good thing too. Outside of the knife thing was over the edge. But the whole Justin Kent thing, I guess, yeah, Justin got in his face. But when he says, stand up and I'm going to knock you out, And they said, well, Julie's in that interview with Justin saying, oh, well, you threatened him, which that's not allowed in this house. Well, when Monica's sitting there saying, I'm going to get your ass, and she said a couple times in the season she was going to, like, stomp a hole in someone's ass. Like, why don't they perceive that as a threat? I think it's kind of a sexist thing here. I'm going to pull my inner Monica and accuse people of things. But I think BB, if that's Justin saying these things, I think it's perceived differently. Monica, man, she's calling some people out. She's saying, well, what does that mean? You're going to get her in the game? Or, because, I mean, she has no power in the game, so how is she going to get her in the game? Is she threatening her? You know, like, I want to know. What does that mean, Monica? I would like to know. Like she always says, bring it on. It's on. It's on. What the fuck does that mean? But then we got the end of the episode. We got Nicole and Hardy kind of conversing. This is, I don't remember which room they're in, but it was in the house. And they're basically saying, like, they're talking about Monica packing her bags and how they don't really like it. Particularly Nicole thinks that it makes her look stupid, and it does. And the funny part, they agree. The funny thing is, she's not even the target. And most likely, she's going to be wrong. She's most likely not leaving the house. Nicole's basically says, like, yeah, it's going to be great when she has to unpack her stuff. And ultimately, between the two, I'd rather see Monica leave than Krista. At this point, I'm not a fan of either, but I like Krista better. I think there's a better chance that, because I did like Krista for quite a while during the season, while I never really liked Monica. All in all, though, this wasn't a great episode. There was a ton of things that we had talked about the previous couple episodes that just continued into this episode. I'm just looking forward to this eviction. Let's get to the next week. Let's get to a new HOH. Hopefully we get off the Hardy and Nicole HOH trend. Maybe get someone different. A Bunky HOH win, I think, would be kind of intriguing to see what would happen. But all in all, not a terrible episode, but definitely not a good one. I'll be back for my episode 19 review later today or tomorrow. Thanks for checking in, guys. As always, appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you soon.